So let's take a look at scenario 2, right? Very similar to scenario 1. We're going to make a small, non-conflicting, but also non-cosmetic change to the data model. And we're going to be resolving those changes using Git-based resolution techniques. So let's take a look at that. And here we are again. We've got the Accolade Studio set up with the two clones, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be grabbing the data model that we have over here, where we are actually going to be not just moving things around a little bit, but we're actually going to add properties to two collections, right? So here we have the movies collection, right? And at the bottom of that movies collection, I'm going to add a property, and that property is going to be called score1, right? And it's going to be a numeric property, right? I'm going to add that to the data model, right? And I'm going to save this here now in my clone1, exit from it, and then go to my Git screen here over here, and I will see, okay, there's something new that I need to commit, all right? So added score1 to the movies entity, right? But I'm going to commit that, right? But I'm not yet going to push it, right? Similar to what we did before with the cosmetic changes, right? I'm going to switch to clone 2. And in clone 2, I'm going to do something similar, right? I'm going to open up the data model from clone 2, and you will see that the property has not been added here yet, right? And I'm going to add it over here as well, right? And I'm going to call it score2, right? Because we're in clone 2 now. I'm going to make this numeric as well, right? I'm going to save it, exit from the model, go to my Git screen, and I am going to add this not just to my local clone, but I'm also going to push it. So adding score2 to the movies entity, and I'm going to commit and push that to the remote. So now that is done, right? What I'll do next is I'll switch back to my clone 1. It still has my local commits waiting to be pushed, but before I can do that, I actually need to pull, right? I need to pull from the remote. And here again, there's going to be a conflict, of course, right? Because clone 2 had the addition of score 2, and I have a little button here that allows me to solve the conflicts, right? And what you will see here is that there's actually a comparison screen, right? Where here we have score 1 added to the movies entity, and here we've got score 2 added to the movies entity. So what I can go and look at over here now is that there have been both of these added to this entity, and that I can actually accept both of them to be added, right? And solve that, right? And solve for these elements to be added automatically to my remote here. So now that this has been done, I can push this to the remote now, right? And now if I open this file again in clone 1, I will see that I have both these scores over there, right, in clone 1. If I go and I open it in clone 2, right, here I still only have score 2, but what I obviously first need to do is I need to pull from the remote, right? And when I do that and then open it back up over here, then we will see that both score 1 and score 2 are now part of my data model. This may not be a 100% realistic scenario. In many scenarios, you would probably only keep one of those two scores, right? I can see how that would be the case, but I wanted to illustrate how this conflict resolution through that comparison screen that we saw earlier is actually really, really easy in the Accolade Studio. Great. With that, we're going to wrap up this scenario 2 and get ready for the next scenario.